I have a friend who runs a Warhammer 40k channel here on YouTube. And a couple of years ago now, he said to me, my friend, aren't you going to run out of content about Brexit now that it's all done, now that it's, all over? Aren't you going to run out of content to talk about Brexit? Surely there will be no more content to talk about on Brexit. And I went, my friend, you have no idea the amount of content that is probably going to start flooding our way. Not only that, the number of times we are going to be able to just go, told you so, is going to be so gratifying. You are going to be able to almost bottle this and start selling this as a form of energy from all those remainers and rejoiners here in the UK. And remember, this isn't like a form of, no, we told you so. And yeah, that is part of it. But we were warning about these problems all this time. We were saying, go all the way back to 2016 and saying, look at this problem. How are exporters going to be able to deal with this amount of increase in red tape? Or pick any of the other myriad of stuff that, Remain talked about that was literally flung back from the response was, that's just Project Fear. Oh, don't worry, we'll have sovereignty. We hold all the cards. This can be solved in an afternoon over tea in Brussels. The list goes on and on of the responses to all these problems that we brought up that were never really solutions to the problems that were going to be created by Brexit. And as we have seen very much this week, the massive queue down in Kent, which is trying to be blamed on everything but Brexit. We also now have some very, very worrying numbers that many exporters have simply just given up. And we've said this before. We've gone over this of like local newspapers or local businesses that have said, I've just stopped importing to the EU, or since Brexit, I've lost 30 to 40% of my business. There was a fishing company. Oh, God, me. There was a fishing company recently. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh. Anyway, as I kindly die on screen, there is a fishing company who, again, during the lead up to the Brexit referendum, was saying, we need to get out, we need to leave. Fast forward to now, here he is, months on, saying, I've lost 60% of my business because 60% of my business is exporting to the EU. Well, we did tell you what the consequences would be of leaving the single market and customs union and, the common fisheries policy. But of course, you didn't listen. Now, oh dear. Now here we are. Oh dear. Anyway, let's get into this article. Oh, I hope I don't die on screen. Anyway, here we go. Yes, this comes from City AM. But before we do that, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there is my one-off donation link called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can buy me a coffee. And I think I'm going to need one after this, definitely. Oh dear. But anyway, like I say, this comes from City AM with the title of Brexit Onslaught Deepens as a third of all UK exporters to the EU simply vanish due to red tape knockout. Really worrying numbers. The number of UK businesses exporting to the EU fell by 33%. 33%. To over 8,000 in 2021 from over 27,000 in 2020, according to new data from the HMRC. Discussing these figures with City AM today was Michael Dale, a senior manager at accountancy firm UHY. The Hacker Young pointed out that the fall is due to these extra red tape that UK businesses must now comply with when exporting to the EU. Businesses are not getting enough support from the government to navigate the post-Brexit minefield, he said. These are really worrying numbers and show the scale of the difficulties the UK businesses are now facing in exporting their products to the EU. A lot of SMEs just cannot afford the professional advice to cope with Brexit-related red tape, and many are likely to have decided that trading with the EU is just not worth the cost. It's what we've been hearing now for well over a year. Fewer UK companies are exporting to the EU, and this will result in lost opportunities for growth and expansion in Europe. The fresh HMRC figures come out only weeks after the European Union confirmed it has launched the bloc's first ever challenge against the UK at the World Trade Organization over Britain's green subsidy programme. The European Commission, the EU's executive body that oversees the common trade policy for all member states, argues that the criteria that were used by the British government in awarding subsidies for offshore wind power projects favoured UK-based companies and entities. This policy violates the WTO's own core tenet that imports must be able to compete on an equal footing with domestic products and harms EU suppliers, including many SMEs in the green energy sector, the Commission explained in a statement. Also, it emerged last week that Brexit has spurred, and again, a rise in city firms sponsoring overseas recruits, with around over 200 workers based outside the UK being hired per week. It comes amid a labour shortage on Britain's soil, which sees the city law firms try and battle it out for the highest pay. Visa sponsorships by UK-based firms have also been rising steadily all year round, climbing from 227 in the fourth quarter of 2020 to at least over 2,000 in just the last few months, the Times first reported, citing, again, Home Office figures. So none of these figures are good. Absolutely none. And we've said this before. If you are a business and you've just lost 30-40% of your business and you're having to give up on trading with the EU, remember, if this is just going to, first of all, increase competition dramatically in the UK market, possibly even taking out some of these businesses because, well, now this market is going to be flooded with even more goods. And this isn't going to bring down prices, by the way. This is going to cause, again, a knockout war between all these companies, now only limited to the UK market. And some of these businesses will lose. Some of these businesses will go out of business. Some of these businesses will shrink. Some of these businesses will have to lay off employees. That's the reality that we are looking at. It was always the reality that we said was going to happen. You know, less exports, less investment, less revenue. You know, the list goes on. But this is where we are. This is entirely Brexit related. There is no other getting in or around this. And one of the things I've said that the Labour Party really needs to start doing is marrying the idea that Brexit is a conservative idea. We had nothing to do with it. Heck, Katie Ho, just throw her under the same bus as well. Any of the other Labour Brexiteers, just throw them under the bus. And then what you can do is you can slowly but surely start to rejoining it. And bear in mind, we are already seeing, again, the Shadow Home Secretary saying how he, again, wants to rebuild relations with Europe by rejoining like security stuff, all this stuff that he wants to do is a good step in that direction and brings us back to the form of eventually rejoining. Because people will just, because as always, what caused Britain to join the EU was businesses crying out, going, we cannot no longer afford not to be in the single market customs union. We cannot afford not to be part of Europe, and we are going back that exact same path. And it will only be a matter of time before businesses start to shout. And trust me, when that happens, you're going to get all the moderate conservatives who, again, are business people themselves going, well, we need to be part of Europe. And then that's where you'll see a change in the Conservative Party again. They're going to start really fighting hard against the Eurosceptics. Like I say, and I've said before, there is an upcoming Tory civil war. The seeds have been sown. We're just waiting for them to sprout. But that will almost certainly be an issue in, again, these upcoming Tory party civil war conflicts that we will ultimately see. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a notification link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and see you all